Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Anderson. I am the Assistant Adult Programming and Outreach Coordinator for the Dauphin County Library System, and I am happy to welcome you to this month's iteration of our partnership with MidPenn Legal Services and the Dauphin County Bar Association, our Lawyers and Libraries program. We are very grateful for this partnership. It's an excellent resource, and we're very happy to have them here with us again this evening. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Sandy Ballard. Sandy, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Emily. And on behalf of the Dauphin County Bar Association, we're delighted to join the Dauphin County Library System in trying to get information about legal issues out to the community as a whole. We hope many folks will be able to take advantage of this and other recordings of videos that are posted now on the Dauphin County Library website, as well as the Dauphin County Bar Association. Also, on behalf of MidPenn Legal Services, we want to encourage you to contact us if you have questions or need help. And in particular, we're delighted to announce a brand new legal program called Pennsylvania Free Legal Answers. So if you go to freelegalanswers.org, anyone, it has some income limitations, but anyone can type in a legal question, and pro bono or volunteer attorneys will respond to your question. And that's for many folks who have questions. They just want a few answers. And we're delighted to announce that new service as well. Tonight, we are very happy to have Jerry Mitchell from the Attorney General's office to help us understand a little bit more about consumer protection, and especially so many of the scams we're hearing about out there lately. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Jerry.
Okay, Sandy, I want to thank you for the warm introduction, and Emily for helping to put this together. And again, my name is Jerry Mitchell. I am the Outreach Specialist Agent for the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General for here in Central Pennsylvania. The Office of Attorney General, we are the leading law enforcement agency for the state. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are out investigating, arresting, and bringing the bad guys to justice. And I like to say, while a lot of folks are sleeping at night, or maybe they're having dinner, maybe they're just getting some evening activities in, our office is still moving, going 100 miles an hour strong. That's our job, that's our mission. And when we're not out on the streets, or when we're not in the office, we are doing a lot of outreach, working with communities or bringing our office to the community. In terms of what to be on the lookout for, how to contact our office, and just how to be safe, and take preventative measures in case someone's trying to defraud someone or try to commit identity theft, or if there's anything that you need from our office. Tonight's presentation, scam awareness, fraud education. You can see it over there on the side, safe. Again, when it comes to scams, we're raising the awareness as to what type of scams that are out there, all kinds of new wave scams that are out there, and fraud education when it comes to the type of fraud that the bad actors want to commit against us. We have to understand that when it comes to scams and frauds nowadays, nobody's off limits. From newborn babies to someone who's not even here anymore. They're in the ground dead. They're still being victimized by a lot of bad actors and a lot of criminals out there who don't see anybody as a, let's just say anybody as a victim. They see everybody as a potential customer or a customer. That's the way scammers and fraudsters see us. They do not see us as victims, they see us as customers. They are in the customer service business. And their business is just to get more and more customers or defraud more and more people. You take a look at our screen here. It says, as citizens, we have to be vigilant because scam artists have no limits. And here's our first screen for this evening. There's so many scams on the internet nowadays. Send me 1995 and I'll tell you how to avoid them. Well, this is the mindset of scam artists. Oh yeah, I'll tell you how to avoid everything. Send me 1995. You never hear from them again. The topics that we're going to discuss this evening and go through They're going to include things like phone scams and whose phone doesn't ring nowadays. Whose phone doesn't come up with someone asking you about your car warranty, health insurance, something pretending to be in law enforcement, something that's designed just to get money out of you. Some utility service. Whose phone doesn't ring nowadays with this stuff? Social media. Fake websites are a standard tactic nowadays. Fake websites are just standards. So many websites out there and so many social media accounts that are fake nowadays. We have to be aware of what's fake and how not to engage or be engaged in this stuff. Oh, when it comes to RFID skimmers, that's a big one. Making sure RFID skimmers are.
Oh, what's an RFID?
Sure, radio frequency ID.
Oh.
That is basically when someone can rip off your credit cards right inside your wallet or purse simply by walking past you. You have to understand, credit cards, those little chips give off a signal. They give off a low-grade signal. Now, the individual to the right there, they're walking right past this person, and they have to be pretty much in close proximity, but they're walking right past this person, okay, with a point-of-sale wand. And basically, it's designed just to pick off that signal. Mm. When you talk about your bigger metropolitan areas, and you talk about, a lot of people in close proximity, a lot of times they're walking through buildings, they're walking through subways, they're walking through train stations, like Grand Central Station in New York. This is commonplace. People wonder, how did I get these charges? How did I get ripped off? Somebody just walked through a crowd, literally picking off signals. Mm. And guys, even when it comes to home improvement, somebody who shows up and they've got the jeans and t-shirt look, and they promise you what they're going to do to the house. They're going to do all these incredible things. But next thing you know, the work that gets done is really shabby, or they just take the money and don't show up. I'm dealing with an individual right now, friend of the family, and ripped them off for $2,000 and never did an ounce of work. And that's painful because, again, it was a friend of their family. They trusted this person, but they gave them all the money up front. And this individual took that money and said, "Thank you, I'm gone." So we have to be careful with things like this. Oops, sorry, my McAfee just popped up. There we go. Okay. So again, let's begin here. Guys, trust. One of the first things fraudsters and scammers and criminals try to do is get you to trust them. And it says it here, how do scammers gain access to our information? Trust is a major tool. Sam Antar. I met this guy, probably like 13 or 14 years ago now. He used to work for a company, if any of you are 70s and 80s babies, there was a commercial that used to come on TV called Crazy Eddie. His prices are insane. Anybody out there remember that?
Oh yeah, I think I do.
Crazy Eddie, his prices are insane. That was Sam Antar. He worked for the company. He was their in-house accountant. One of the biggest, if you ever want to do a case study, you want to talk about the definition of fraud? That company was the total definition of fraud. And he said something, while we were there in a seminar with the guy, trust is an occupational hazard that could harm or destroy you. And that's the first thing scam artists try to get you to do is trust them. They'll ask you a few questions designed to get you in a positive mood with a positive response. Yes, yes, yes. But then by the time they get to the third or fourth or fifth question or scenario, the next thing you know, you're already in a positive mood. So you just keep going on and on. Trust. And in so many cases, the techniques that they use, they get you to talking. Con artists get you to talking a lot. Victims don't ask a lot of questions. They answer a lot of questions. You have to be careful of that. Please be mindful of this. When these people are calling on the phone, it starts off with how are you today? And they just get you to answering questions. And that's a standard deployment or standard technique that's been used throughout history. That's a standard sales technique. You got to understand something. These people are the customer service business. They study, they attend seminars. These groups that do this, they are not stupid. They are a lot of these folks are seasoned and polished, and they polish the people who work for them. We're talking about big outfits here. I'm not talking about, and there are still rogues that are out there, 2 and 3 man people and groups. But what I'm talking about now are bigger outfits, 50, 100, 500 people working in some small facility or some medium-sized facility, and they're all on phones, burn phones usually, or some sort of phone system designed that you can't track it back to them. And that's why you always hear a lot of people in the background. They're in an open environment. And so this is what they do. Get you to ask you a lot of questions, get you talking. And at times they can impersonate authority figures. Criminals will pretend to be someone in authority, such as a police officer or a doctor or a sheriff. And they're good at this. So folks, we have to be very vigilant when phone calls come our way, when communications come our way, even in text messages, emails, any way that they can communicate with us, they do. And again, you're gonna be shocked when I say this, but it's the truth. You'd be surprised, segments of what I'm talking to you about, to you right now, I have to say the same thing to 3rd graders, 4th graders, 5th graders, kids in school. You know why? They all got cell phones. And as long as you have a cell phone, you are going to get a phone call. So I have to tell these kids in school, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm saying this to a 3rd grader, or sometimes a 2nd grader, but if you get a phone call from somebody asking you about your car warranty, don't respond to it. I have to tell it to people that young. Techniques that they use to gain trust. They might offer you assistance to help you with your money accounts, ATM cards, computer devices, all in an attempt to access your personal and sensitive information. Hey, they can even walk up to you at a bank or ATM. Hey, you okay? You all right? Here, let me help you with that. Because you may be struggling, or you're at some kiosk someplace, in an airport. You're at McDonald's in a kiosk, and you're sitting there trying to order your food, and you're trying to use that kiosk at McDonald's. I've been there. And luckily, you're fortunate enough for me, someone at McDonald's saw me struggling. They say, hey, you need help with that? Oh yeah, I'm new to this. So, just give me a quick pointer as to how to use this. That's what they do though. Social media, friend me. Guys, I can tell you right now, social media, when it comes to being online, social media, we have to be very vigilant and very careful. There's so much fake out there. There's so many scams that are out there. You click on, somebody sends you a friendship request. I don't care if it's LinkedIn and that's your professional site. I don't care if you don't know this person. You really need to, err on the side of caution instead of just, oh, here's on Facebook, somebody wants to friend me. Well, who is this person? And especially, and nowadays, it's interesting because I usually look at their photos. Like, let me see how many photos they have. And they only have like 1 or 2 photos. I'm like, yeah, this is fake. Or I'll look at their information real quick. There's nothing there. It's just a skeleton of information. I'm like, yeah, this is fake. And you'd be surprised what's hidden in those photos or hidden in that stuff once you friend it. Now that stuff has got access to your personal information or your information on social media. Now it's linked up with your information. You'd be surprised how it snatches that information, and it basically now you become part of their data network. And it says it here, people should know the potential risk. Okay, people should know the potential risk of what they're posting online. Photos are no exception. It's important that everyone not send photos unless they're 100% sure it's to a friend they're communicating with. Photos contain what we call EXIF data. Okay, information about the camera you took the photo with. You see the world we live in now? I look to the younger audience out there, I get it. You've grown up in this. You don't know a world without Google or Yahoo or Bing. That's all you know because that's all you've been raised on. But, for some of us, who've been around a little bit longer, when we were used to the, we were used to the Polaroids, we didn't have to worry about this. But nowadays, our cameras, the data that's inside of our phones, we have to worry about all this stuff once we take it. EXIF data, once again, the information about the camera you took the photo with. Or in another term, metadata, the data about a particular picture. That picture contains information, embedded information. What are we doing with it? The staying power of social media. Everyone needs to understand exactly how powerful social media is. Whatever you put out there is out there forever, and that can have consequences down the road. Social media postings can later be accessed by colleges, potential employers, and so forth. And scam artists. That's the other one. That's on the other side there, and scam artists. Guys, gas stations and ATM skimmers, this stuff is very real. So let's start with the top image there, all right? Top image there shows someone using an ATM, and if you look at the ATM insertion point, that little silver piece sticking out is a skimmer. Skimmers are devices, and I've been dealing with this since 2004, by the way. My background is information system management with a concentration in application development, basically computer geek. Okay. I've been dealing with this since 2004 when they were just handheld. Then they went to the ATM market because, hey, that's a big market. And these little things right here, once you put your card in it, it reads your card before the machine does. It wirelessly sends that information to the computer of the criminal. And now they have your information captured. They can put things on your credit card. They can charge thousands of dollars, basically run up the bill in seconds. If you drop down, and let's just go down to the right here, and it shows an arrow pointing up at one skimming device that's on a gas station pump. We all do it, pay at the pump. When we use any ATM or any gas station pump out there, folks, I strongly encourage you to put your hand on the ATM or the gas station pump just to see if there's anything in there, anything protruding. I mean, don't break it, but put your hand on there just to see if everything there looks sound and there's nothing additional. These things are not generally on there very strong. The adhesive is not very strong. Generally, so they can be removed by the bad actors later on.
So if it wiggles, it's not a good sign.
It's not a good sign. If it wiggles, please do not let the gas station attendant know. In so many cases, this is a public. This is dealing with the public service. You really want to call the police. Just let them know. Hey, listen, I have a non-police emergency. You can call 911 for a non-police emergency. You found a skimmer on a gas station. They'll send out, and believe me, they will take that extremely serious because, again, you're talking about public safety. They'll take that very seriously, send out an officer, and they'll take that skimmer. If you drop down to the bottom image there is one being inserted over a ATM, and a skimmer being inserted over an ATM. Take a look at it. I mean, it's identical. That device right there is a skimmer at the bottom of your screen. And when you see something like that, and again, let's just be honest here. How many of us, when it comes to an ATM machine, we touch the machine? The only thing we do is put our card in, take our fingers or our knuckles. If you're like me, you don't take your exact tip of your finger, you use your knuckles and you press the buttons, and that's it. You don't touch the rest of the machine. Same thing with a gas station pump. You hit the keypad and that's it. You don't touch the rest of the machine. You insert your card, you're not touching anything else. That's what the bad guys are counting on. You're not touching the rest of the machine. So once you put your card in, the thing reads it. So again, we encourage you just to please put your hand there and just see if anything wiggles, anything comes loose, anything's protruding from the machine. This is what you want to do. The image on the west side of the screen there, where it shows a gas station pump, but it more so shows the label, going across there, the sticker that says this machine has been inspected, it's secure. Those labels are what you want to look for when at all times when you go to a gas station. You just want to see if that's there. If you ever see something like that and it's been broken and the machine's ajar and it looks like it's been jimmied, please do not use that gas station pump. I don't care if you're on empty. Push the car to the next pump right around just right around the corner from it or right around to the next one right beside it. But please do not use that when you are saving yourself a boatload of time and trouble. Any questions from anyone so far? Okay, Kristen.
Yeah, I have a question for gas stations. I use sometimes like Apple Pay. So I just hold my phone up. Do you have any recommendations for safety with Apple Pay or to avoid using that?
We haven't had any problems with Apple Pay. That's actually one of the more secure methods where you can just wave it right in front of there. In terms of a skimmer that's able to basically capture your Apple Pay encryption, haven't had any issues with that.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, it feels good to say that too. It does. I gotta be honest with you. We haven't had any issues or any reports of any kind of captures, basically device capture from your cards, from your Apple Pay card or your phone to the device. We haven't had any yet. And it irritates me to say yet, but chances are it's coming. But for right now, you're good. Apple, and again, I will give Apple credit. Their R&D or research and development is one of the top in the world. Apple isn't on top for nothing. They know what they're doing, and their devices are just, this is why you keep getting updates on them. They have to keep on, they're a never-ending river. They're constantly moving like Niagara Falls. They are never ending. They are constantly updating those encryptions. I hate to see 256, Apple's probably up to like a 300 or 400 character 400 character encryption now. 4 or 5, or they're more than that right now. They're probably up to about 3,000 character encryptions. It have to be. Guys, I don't know if you've ever heard of phishing, but this is the hybrid way or a different way of spelling it versus what we're used to, where you cast the reel and hook in a fish. And I sucked at that when I was a kid, so I gave it up when I was about 13. So I am not a fisherman. But phishing still exists nowadays. And the type of phishing that I'm talking about, same thing, where the bad actors basically use as bait a fake website. People engage in the fake website, they hook them in, and next thing you know, they got themselves a new fish on the line. And on the internet, it says here, phishing refers to criminal activity that attempts to fraudulently obtain sensitive information. There are several ways a fraudster can try to obtain sensitive information, such as your social security number, driver's license, credit card, or bank account information, often luring you with a sense of urgency. Guys, I'm gonna paraphrase the rest of it right here. Because again, whether it's an email or it's a follow-up conversation to make you think you've done something, or make you think you owe something, or there's some sense of urgency. What they're looking for is user IDs and passwords. And I can tell you right now, I have seen a number of these type of emails from Apple. You ever get something like that? Your user ID has been locked, or your user ID has been compromised. I've been getting this for the last 3 years. How do you know it's fake? Take a look at the address up there. Apple's address is simply apple.com. Take a look at that elongated address up there in the address field. edu-vpp6.apple.com. Yeah, they throw in the apple.com in there, and they throw in this elongated. Apple's looks nothing like this. This is a phishing website telling someone that, hey, your user ID has been compromised, your purchase has been denied, and you're sitting back like, well, wait a minute. What purchase? Wait a minute. You know, you start thinking all these different thoughts. Once again, gets you to thinking. It creates the sense of urgency. Like, hey, I better take a look at this right away. And a lot of people do. And this is what happens to them. Now their information has been captured by a criminal. Apple is not the only one that has been cloned like this in their material. Take a look. Amazon, Netflix. You ever see anything like this in your email accounts? I have. I've seen plenty of this stuff. Walmart, oh, definitely. I get those. Walmart, your sale has been canceled. Amazon is a massive target. Notification refunds. Guys, I pulled this stuff. Some of this stuff was straight from my own account. I just took a picture of it, and brought it in here. So this is what happens. Payment decline. The next thing you know, you're like, well, what in the world's going on? Let me click on payment update. Let me see, did I buy something? Because nowadays, and especially if you get that from Amazon, because we all order something from Amazon. I probably got something on the way here now, I forget. But the point of it is, you know, once you're not sure on it, you click on this information, click here to update your address. But is this really from Amazon? Is this really from Netflix? Take a look up there in Netflix at the top of that image where it says from Netflix, and next thing you know, notification and all that other junk that's up there. No, Netflix, just like Apple, is netflix.com, nothing more. But to take a look at all this stuff, you're gonna think, okay, it must be legit. How many people generally look at that field? Look at the address field? Not a lot of people. They look at everything else but that. They just look at the information, I should say, on the screen, and that's what their concentration goes to. How to recognize a fake site? Do you know the sender of the email? If yes, click continue to be cautious before you click the link. If no, do not click any links. And then again, have you checked that URL? Have you checked the link? Mouse over the link and check that URL. That's that address that we talked about. Does it look legit, or does it look like it will take you to a different site? Does the email contain grammatical errors? A lot of them do, a lot of them don't. I can tell you right now, the really good professional polished ones do not contain any grammatical errors. Are there any attachments in the email? Guys, I mean, this really goes for text messages too. The attachments or anything that's inside there, guys, you gotta be really careful. If somebody can send you something, you don't know where this came from, and it's got an attachment, you open it up, boom, now it compromises your device. Does the email request personal information? Don't reply to it. And do you have a relationship with the company? Are they addressing you by name? Or differently than they generally would? These are just some of the things we have to be on the lookout for. Guys, I know we are, you know, we still have our issues with COVID. And COVID scams are out there, fake sites, fake locations where you can get COVID shots. People telling you you have to pay X amount for COVID, for your COVID shot when you don't have to. You know, a lot of the COVID scams are still out there, but these other scams have not gone anywhere. They are still out there going strong. The next one is the home improvement scam. Oh, yes. Guy shows up looking like Bruce Springsteen with the jeans and the t-shirt, got a hammer hanging from his side, offers you a discount rate on something for some home improvement. Driveway roofs are a big one. Driveways and roofs are a huge one. And next thing you know, they offer you, hey, listen, for this rock bottom price, they can give you a new roof. Rock bottom price, they can do a new driveway. They use crappy material. If they show up at all, they do a half job. They do part of it, say they'll come back tomorrow. They don't come back, and next thing you know, you're out of whatever money you've given them. Because all they were there was to do maybe an hour, hour and a half job to make it look like they were doing something, and they stopped coming back. Or they didn't do their job. Home improvement is very lucrative. That is a very, very lucrative field. And you got enough scammers out here, enough bad home improvement people. Anybody who's doing home improvement, anybody who's a contractor, I should say, must be registered with the Attorney General's office. If they're making over $5,000 a year, they must be registered with our office. Okay, so that's something, if you want to know if someone's legit, call our office and ask, is this company registered? Or if they show you their business card and they don't show you their state ID, there's no state ID number on that business card, that's a major red flag. And, I forgot I had it right here. In 2008, Pennsylvania legislature passed the Home Improvement Consumer Protection Act. The law requires that all contractors who perform at least $5,000 worth of home improvements per year register with the Attorney General's office. Thoroughly check your contractor's references. Obtain more than one bid for a job. Check for complaints filed with the Better Business Unit. I want to say this right now before we go any further, and I ask for any, and you guys, you can throw out questions if you want. This does not include handyman. Handyman, somebody come around, I'll fix a door hinge, or I'll fix something really quick, maybe a step or something like that. This does not include handyman. The best thing you can do with a handyman base is literally ask around, see if the same name comes up 2, 3, or 4 times. This law does not include handyman. Questions so far? Okay, you're all sponges absorbing knowledge. That's good. That's good. But again, please be mindful when it comes to home improvement. This is a very lucrative way for people to scam individuals, especially if you see something and they're from out of the county or out of the state. And they're like, wait a minute, how far away are you from my house? Oh, we're over in Fulton County. Oh, we're over in Tioga County. That's where we're headquartered. That's pretty far away for them to be coming down here. You guys just use common sense, use good judgment when it comes to hiring somebody for home improvement. See if you can go through some of the your bigger retail or home improvement stores that are out there, Home Depots and Lowe's, contractors that go through them, people who have been vetted by those companies so that those companies' reputations are on the line too. So they're making sure anybody that works for them, that contractor is solid. That's a very big deal. Congratulations, you're the big winner. But are you? Yes, you've been told you hit the lottery. It's cloudy outside and it might be raining, but the sun is shining on you. Sweepstakes and lotteries, you're the big winner. You have really got to be careful with this stuff. There's a lot of folks out there who thought they were the big winner, that they won some sort of international lottery or some sort of, national lottery, and they've been told they've won, and it's just not true. And they've been told that, hey, listen, to collect your lottery winnings in your state, there's some regulations and laws, taxes that go with it. So if you pay the taxes or fees that go along with your lottery winnings, let's say, hey, they're telling you won $500,000, but to collect, you have to pay your taxes and fees to it, and they're going to equal about $12,000. For $12,000, you get $500,000. This unfortunately works very well with our seniors out here. A lot of seniors out here believe this. And they believe they are going to, hey, listen, I got $500,000 coming for 12 grand. Hey, that's nothing. Or they may say, hey, listen, not even $12,000. We know that you have military service. You've done some lengthy community service. So for that, we can forego certain fees and certain taxes and bring it down from $12,000 to $5,000, because those fees are being basically left out because of your service to your community and to your country. So now they're thinking, wow, I'm getting a discount on that. Hey, for $5,000, I get $500,000 or $1 million. And they run to the bank, they get the money out, or they get a cashier's check for that amount, and they send it to this individual, or they wire it to them, and they get nothing back. And it hurts and it pains me because I've personally seen this happen to seniors. I've personally seen seniors get basically raked over the coals by individuals who do this stuff. But when it comes to sweepstakes and lotteries, to protect ourselves, don't ever pay a fee to claim a prize you supposedly won or to improve your chances of winning. Hey, if you give us $300, hey, you're getting closer to the center of this. Hey, another $100, getting closer. Don't wire money or share gift card numbers with someone claiming to represent a contest or a lottery. Don't deposit supposed winnings that come in the form of a partial payment check, accompanied by instructions to return a portion of the contest to sponsors. Hey, here's part of the money, return the rest of the money, and they're asking you to make up the difference, something crazy. Check will bounce and you'll likely have to repay your bank for any withdrawals from that deposit, including what you sent to the scammers. And I can tell you right now, I know someone that this has happened to, and she's still hopping mad about it. She went to court. The bank took her to court. She won in court, but she's still mad. Her name got dragged through everything. She's a feisty individual. I can tell you right now, she lives about 4 miles from me, and she was hopping mad about it. And don't believe people who contact you by social media about a cash prize. You've won, they're telling you through social media you've won. Folks, I'm sorry, that just doesn't happen. And by the way, if you're a US citizen, you cannot win a foreign lottery. So if you're living here in the US, you're born in the US, you cannot win a foreign lottery. That is something a lot of scam artists do. You won the Canadian bacon or the Jamaican jumbo lotto, the British bonanza, something of the sort, and it's just not true. I think this is what you were looking for earlier, folks, and here we are now. RFID skimmers, basically, they can walk right past you and read your credit cards now. If you're traveling, even if you're not traveling, it's just a good idea to have it. They have RFID purses, RFID wallets for men and women. And basically they have material inside there that blocks the signal of your credit cards. They block it so that any signal can penetrate the wallet or the purse. And that's a good thing. Those shields and those wallets and those sleeves are out there. You can Google this stuff. And I think Target sells these things nowadays. I definitely know AAA sells them, because this is an extremely good idea if you're traveling out of the country. And monitor your accounts regularly, check your financial statements to catch fraudulent charges, and do it regularly. There's a lot of folks who don't check their accounts regularly. They just check it only every now and then, and we strongly encourage you to check your accounts often. You can do it right now. If you download apps from banks, you can check your accounts as many times as you wanted that. Or you can have it set up so that every time a purchase comes out of your account, you get a notification. Banks have set that up. You can get that. You can set that up yourself now through your apps. Basically, your account notifications. You can set it up and do it yourself now. Just ask your financial institution how to do it, and they'll show you. Here we go. And this screen here just talks about how to purchase shield wallets that are out there, RFID card guards that are out there. They're easy enough to Google. Pretty much now, again, if they're not sold right in the stores, you can just go out and just Google one and just see what store in your area or what retail location sells these cards. And again, they send off a signal that block any kind of a signal from getting from your cards. People carry them in their wallets, their purses. If they don't want an RFID purse or wallet, and especially if they're traveling, this would be ideal to have. Fits right in your purse wallet, just drop it in there. And now you've got this wall or this wireless shield that's in there that's protecting your cards. We all know about the phone scams now. Hi, are you? Most of us just hang up. The minute you hear that doot, And next thing you know, you hear somebody, most of us just hang up now. And when it comes to scam cards like this, I'm just gonna paraphrase a lot of this here. And a lot of the phone companies and services, they've gone to different techniques and different programs that eliminate a lot of this stuff or tell you that it's coming in. You'd be surprised now, actually, a lot of this stuff is going down because new laws have come into place where phone companies and now a lot of companies that are out here, especially your phone providers, they're getting hit with fines if they don't do something about it. In fact, you notice how Congress, Republicans and Democrats can agree on very little, but they all agree that they can't stand these phone calls. So they're all doing something about it. So this is what they come up with. They said, no, we can't, don't agree with you much on policy here. But I tell you what, on these phone scams, those laws have been passed. So the main law that was passed in March went into effect. So now these calls, so now your phone providers or phone services now have to have something in place to combat this stuff, help keep it from basically reaching the consumers. And there's different apps out there now, and I haven't looked lately, but I knew there was at least 6 or 7 apps out there that could combat robocalls. And I know there are robo apps that are out there that we can download. And pretty much again, do you know the person? You generally don't give anyone personal or financial information, and don't make payments by gift cards or wire transfers or prepaid if they ask you to. Guys, well, I said it before and I'll say it again. I have this exact same discussion with 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds. If you don't know them, don't talk to them. Online I package it under sometimes stranger danger because I do think it's a danger and they're a stranger. So I package this under stranger danger. If you don't know them, you don't talk to them. If they ask you for mom and dad's credit card number, you don't go running into purses or wallets and get their credit card numbers. I have to have this conversation. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds. Because again, they're susceptible to these calls. Guys, I'm gonna close out on one of the big ones here. And this is a really big one, crowdfunding. Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe. Basically crowdfunding is one way to support a project you believe in and get rewards for that support. But the project you're backing is only as good as the people behind it. Some dishonest people can take your money but produce nothing. No product, no project, no reward. So when people are asking for public funds because they've got a new startup company or a new product they're going to market, or if they're just asking for funds and saying, hey, listen, we have a funeral coming up, we can't afford to pay for it, or someone's really sick, they need help with their medical bills, trust but verify. And a lot of people just want to go, oh, my heart goes out to it, and it pulls a string in your heart. Guys, I can tell you the best thing you can do in situations like this, verify to see if it's true. In New Jersey, lady ran out of gas a couple hundred yards from the gas station, and late at night, kind of a deserted area, a lot of wooded area out there. She's scared. Here comes a homeless guy. You have to push her car to the gas station and says, here's my last $20 for you to get home. She's so moved by that, she was able to get home. She brought back her husband. They found a homeless guy, and they said, this is what he did for us. Hey, listen, he's a veteran. Can we help get this guy off the road? Or get him off the road? Yeah, get him living off the streets. They collected north of $400,000 for this guy. And the problem with this whole thing is that none of it was true. The story was a lie. All 3 of them were in on the scam, and they all got caught. All the people who gave their money to these individuals, Kickstarter, Indigo, GoFundMe, in a GoFundMe campaign, GoFundMe gave them all their money back, and then they're basically going after these individuals for the cars they bought, for the trips they took. They're basically recouping their money from these individuals, but all these individuals are going to prison. They're all in, if not in prison, they are going to prison one at a time. They're getting charged. I mean, there's state and federal charges on them. They just dropped the bomb on these folks. So GoFundMe is a really slick way of getting money out of individuals or crowdfunding. That's one of the new wave tactics that are being used. Any questions out there so far?
I had a question, Jerry, actually, since you mentioned the RFID wallet. Is that my RFID?
Yep,
So,
right.
so of course I go right to Google and look around for a sleeve or something. Now they list something for our passport. If we're traveling, do we have to worry about them getting some information from our passport also and get one for that too?
Your passport doesn't contain any kind of signal output. Your
So why, they're just trying, this is just a rip off. They're trying to sell me something I don't need. Is that what
they're
you're
trying
saying?
to, somebody's trying to sell you something additional on that. Or maybe the wallet, or maybe the sleeve that holds the passport, you will probably keep your credit cards in that same sleeve. So that way, you'd have both in the same location. So along the way, I'm thinking that's probably what it is.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But you haven't heard of them stealing information from someone's passport.
No, you'd have to literally steal the passport.
Right. Right.
But no, there's nothing. It doesn't get off. It doesn't give off a signal.
Great.
Anybody else? You guys have been a fun crowd. This has been like
easy. We're easy. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you all. Let me see. There we go. No, well, you all have. I think you're just like a sponge. When I get to talking about this stuff, for a guy like me who came into the tech field and into the tech world when Windows 95 was exploding, and I was this techie back then, just wild techie, just idealistic, just all this incredible technology. And we were just like, back then, we were just all kids at this stuff. And it was like being in a candy store. And all we saw was the capability of what it could do,
Yes.
like how it could better society. None of us envisioned people using this stuff as weapons or for mass manipulation and for tactics that they're doing.
Yeah.
And it hurts, it bothers us, a lot of us, because we still keep in contact, because all we looked at it was how we could change the world with it.
Well, I hope that in the future, technology will be used for good. And on behalf of MidPenn Legal Services and the Dauphin County Bar Association and Dauphin County Library System, we really want to thank you, Jerry, for sharing some great things. I think a lot of us are going to be wiggling our gas station machines. And we want to thank you for that. We'll think of you, Jerry, when we do it.
That's my goal, just to raise awareness and keep you safe.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jerry, so much. I personally really appreciated the talk about, children and having to worry about kids. I have two younger siblings who, one of them's 13. She just got her first phone. These things affect, much younger folks than I think we think about sometimes. It's something that I'm, mindful of for myself, but it's really important to keep an eye out for younger kids who might not have any idea that these things are scams. It's really scary.
It is
really scary.
It is. Yeah, like I said, we don't realize the young. If you've got a device, you're susceptible to a scam.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, we have about 10 minutes left in our time together tonight. I want to open the floor up for any questions if we have any more questions, but otherwise, I think we're probably good to call it an evening.
Okay.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.